All right, it's the Monday. It's the Rundown, December 3rd, presented by Reebok. When it says we're wearing the new, what's that say? Aztrex?
Yep.
Yeah.
Aztrex. I believe only you're wearing them.
Me and Fights.
My size isn't in yet.
Fights is rocking them right now.
Do I get
got
better?
I think so.
You want
Actually,
some?
what size you wear?
Yeah, I like those. Probably 10.5.
Those are 10.5s.
Which ones?
The orange and the black.
They come in 3 different colorways. They got the red, white, and blue there. Those
I
are
got
like
some
those are
coming.
like Barstool. I mean, that's like Barstool colors to the T.
The oranges are
Yeah.
10.5?
Those looks.
Maybe
Smaller
not. The
than a
blacks
10.5.
are. Sorry, the blacks are.
And then of course you got the classics over there, the white on white with the gum bottoms.
These are 10.5?
These are nice too because this is like almost like a suede type of vibe. It's very cool. It's a good kick.
Nice.
My
Done.
size aren't in yet.
You got your big fat feet.
I mean, 12 is I think that's the most common feet for a male.
10.
Kind of like the
No
orange.
way. No way is 10. No way.
Oh yeah. I mean, think about it. It's
Tommy,
like
are the
no
oranges in the
way.
box?
it's because like 5'8" is
10
usually
is
average.
borderline. It's borderline.
Anyway.
pitch.
I bet you it's like 10, 10 and a half.
I guess we're talking about the shoes. It
It's shoe
says
size.
8 colors.
I mean, that right there. There's 3 back there. I think I have a pair. It's like other like neon colors. They got a bunch. I got
Grab
3
your
of my
pair
desk.
at Reebok.com and you get $25 off of your future purchase of $50 or more. That's a pretty good deal. Use the code Barstool. All right, so if you go buy these at Reebok.com, these are sweet.
Yeah. They're big. It's like kind of like the dad shoe trend. They're
Yeah.
very very on brand right now.
Okay, I'm in. So you get $25 off. A future purchase of 50 or more, Reebok.com. Use the code Barstool. I'm gonna take these. Those are all the pairs they got us. Remember
There's
that one
more
time they
coming.
came in with a ton of them? I still have those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I went through like a no sock phase, so now they're too stinky.
Yuck.
You wore them with no socks?
Yeah.
Why don't you get like the no-show socks? Then you don't look like you're wearing socks. But
Those no-so shocks don't work.
You got to get the right ones.
They always fall down.
Yeah, you got to get the ones
But
that
I
have
go
the rubber
through
on the
summer.
back.
It's summer and no sock. All right, so these are cool. All right, big news story. Well, let's start NFL. Dan, bad loss for your Bears.
Oh, the worst.
Bad
I
loss.
could not believe that.
Bad
I wasn't
loss.
watching. I like saw the score. I was like, that can't be
I
right.
just need Mitch to come back.
How did Eddie take that loss?
Not well.
Could
I
not
mean, it
have
was
been
a
good.
bad. Thankfully the Bears took care of some business with the last 5 weeks, but now we're back to
Patriots helped out.
Right, but now we're back to got to beat the Rams.
Yeah.
Got to beat the Rams.
And you do have the thing. What is Mitch's prognosis?
He's going to be back. He was throwing before the game.
So that'll be big.
I think they were kind of like, hey, we can probably win this game with Chase
Right.
Daniel. Obviously, that reasoning didn't really work when the first pass of the game was pick 6. But not a good game.
I don't hate that like logic though. Like if,
Yeah.
if you were gonna try to sneak one more game out, it would. against
Right,
the
they did it
Giants,
with
not a bad
Khalil Mack
idea.
earlier when he was
Yeah.
totally ineffective playing against the Patriots and let's sit him against the Bills and the Jets.
Jets, yeah.
It was just one of those days. Like Tommy, you watched the whole game. It was just a weird. Odell Beckham throwing a 40-yard bomb.
People are sucking his dick. They got to
Weird
chill out with
shit.
that a little bit. I mean, he can throw a football. There was nobody within 100 yards of that guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, Eli
everything he
couldn't
does,
make
good
that
or
throw.
bad. Yeah,
Well,
that's true.
Yeah, that's true. I love when Eli self-sacks himself.
Oh,
like,
he's the king of the self-sack.
Yeah.
As soon as he sees any kind of problem, he just turtles.
Turtles. Yeah.
Bad game. Got to move on.
Patriots, and I know we sit here, it's December. It is not apple picking season. I am, and I'm not just saying it, I am unbelievably confident in the Patriots going back to the Super Bowl. Now, it is a mix of events. First of all, I think the Chiefs will probably lose again. I think that Kareem Hunt, which we'll get into, is going to devastate that team in the long run. Pittsburgh, cross them off. I think the Chargers are good.
Frisky.
Yeah, but they're not going to be. I think we're going to end up with home field. And I don't. And this defense
No,
is.
the team you got to worry about.
What's that?
The team you got to worry about is the team I got to worry about.
Who's that?
Texans.
Oh, yeah, you do have to. But the Texans are one of those teams.
I mean, if
the
the-
Letterman team.
Yeah, I know.
don't.
If the Patriots play the Texans, they'll blow their fucking doors off.
What Bill Belichick, and there was the perfect quote. Who said it? Who was announcing the Patriots game yesterday? Whoever said
I think
it.
it was
the
Joe
main
Buck.
crew.
Yeah.
He said, this new guy's, J.C. Sanders, is that his name? Is that the guy that we got playing?
No idea who you're talking
Feidelberg.
about.
J.C., what's his last name? The Pats. Jackson, J.C. Jackson. Never heard of him. Like, he's a guy no one's heard of. Joe Buck said perfectly. Bill Belichick is creating somebody.
What does he play?
He's a cornerback, and he, shut down Thielen. Like he couldn't get open. He was everywhere. He was taunting. He was like, "Where is this guy?" And he's like, Bill Belichick creates these guys, and by the time the leaves are falling and it's freezing out, suddenly the Patriots defense, remember how slow they looked?
Yeah.
They don't look slow anymore. Suddenly they're flying around, playing great defense. It's actually better than the offense at this point. I am so confident in this team.
You booked your flight to Atlanta.
Yeah, Atlanta. I went and
That doesn't work as much anymore when we
What,
already
we go anyways?
Yeah,
But it's
he's
an
like,
ongoing
I'm
ship.
so confident that I booked my flight to Atlanta. Like we already booked the house 7 months
But
ago.
I'm telling you, this team again.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, even just a couple weeks ago with the Jets, like they were not playing well at all.
Well, the other thing is
That was
Kirk
an
Cousins,
ugly
and
game for a
I-
9-3 team.
I
They're
agree
getting-
with you, Dave. That the Patriots look good yesterday. Kirk Cousins, though, people need to start talking about how bad Kirk Cousins is
stinks.
against
He's
good
terrible.
teams. It's the Matt Stafford thing. They will feast on the bad teams, and then whenever they have to play a good team, it's no chance.
And for that money is the real thing. So
Oh,
The Patriots do this thing, and they're doing it again now. And it was sort of the Jets. It's like, yeah, they're not playing great. And then you look up, it's like 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
It's just like a slow grind. They're never in doubt. They're in control. That's how I feel about them. The other, I guess, big game was that comeback. I think the Steelers. I went to bed 23-7. I was exhausted.
crazy.
Wake up and see that score. It's because I stopped gambling and I like
I
the
had
Chargers and the
Steelers.
over.
I had the Steelers.
Ugh, that is.
you're completely off gambling right now?
Well, I did gamble this week and got absolutely smoked. Before we go into that, we'll go into the Kareem Hunt. There's no more NFL. Anything else? NFL? Gotta get
Jets got a
headbutted.
hot fire. Oh yeah, well we'll talk about Mike McCarthy, but Jets got to fire Todd Bowles.
They have to.
He said it was the
They
worst.
won't,
That
I mean-
loss will stick with him forever.
They lost to Matt Barkley by fucking 50 points 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I mean, if they weren't going to fire him then, they won't fire him until after.
Right, but the fact
I
that
know,
they're
the fact that he
saying
says
that that's
that,
the worst loss, like, yo,
I know,
you
I know.
guys got the shit.
That
kicked out
game
of
was
you by
stunning
Matt
though
Barkley.
because I actually thought the Titans would just destroy
Dead,
them.
yeah, because they're coming off an emotional
Yeah.
loss against the Texans.
And you
all that.
blinked, and it was like 10-0 Jets
yeah.
before you could blink.
But I mean, the Titans should have. They had like endless opportunities. The Jets just kept handing it to them. Eventually, they took it.
Yeah.
And that to me was like a pure tank game right there.
Yeah.
Darnold's sitting with like a phony fake injury in my mind. It's like all of a sudden his foot's hurt. I think they're very happy to finally lose these games. I think they're actually going to tank right.
This is just an aside, but the state of social media, because I'm thinking about the Vikings. I was thinking about that headbutt video. I don't know if you guys saw it. There's
Oh,
two
yeah.
Steeler fans fighting and got headbutted.
Great
That was
move
an
by the way.
awesome
Yeah.
headbutt.
Oh,
Well,
hey,
once
listen.
the guy takes his hat off, you're in trouble.
Here's the thing though, the guy who got headbutted, why would you ever go back for more
I know.
on a headbutt guy?
Yeah.
A headbutt guy will do anything.
A
to win
well
fight.
executed
Not a great
headbutt. Like that was.
Especially-
He's done that before many times.
Especially first move headbutt.
The girls' punches after the headbutt was so slow, the slowest punches. But social media, the state, you know, obviously I'm thinking fight videos. The Vikings guy who put that young whippersnapper,
Yep.
that got taken down off social media for being too violent.
Oh come on.
They don't do fights anymore.
But wait,
On
by
Twitter or Instagram?
Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram's
Jesus.
soft like that.
That
That is nuts.
That's like a comedy video if you can't post those. Kareem Hunt, this is obviously the big story of the weekend. The video on TMZ comes out of him basically assaulting a woman in a hotel in Cleveland, pushed somebody into her, and then he kind of kicks her at the end of it. Chiefs cut. The big story, obviously disgusting behavior. The big story I think everyone talked about, which is astounding. Come on, Kate. It's astounding to me. Is the NFL never spoke with Kareem Hunt, never spoke with a woman. I don't know how Goodell survives. He will.
Well, yeah.
No, he will. I'm not
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
I don't get, but
yeah.
for such a hot button issue and everything that they went through with Ray Rice, and Jerry makes the analogy, and I think it's fair. It's not just the Patriots, but the ends of the earth they'll go through for like something stupid, like a deflation of football. That they just. I mean, the reports are out. Chiefs talk to it. Just
It
to
was like
do
9
nothing.
months.
Well,
right?
it really is every time. It's if there's no video, they're like, okay, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But the minute it's almost like they just don't care unless there's video.
No, I'd go beyond that. I say they don't want to know. It's like
Right.
they
Oh,
don't.
yeah. I mean, like they should want to like do this for the right reasons, but they're not. But even for like the wrong reasons of like PR, get out in front of it, control the story. The fact that they just like close their eyes and cross their fingers.
And
hope
everyone
for
says the
best.
NFL is like the most powerful like organization, or one of them. Companies like you don't fuck with them. They can make everything. If they want the video, they can get the video. Like to
Yes.
this case. Like, oh well, we couldn't get it. Get out of here. You can do whatever you want. And at some
If
point,
TMZ can get their hands on it, the fucking NFL.
the only thing that has seemingly at all caused them to pause or owners uncomfortable is the kneeling thing. That's the only, and you hear the stories about ratings. Other than that, nothing.
Well, because like a broad scale like that fucks with their money. Like
Yep.
like Kareem Hunt's not going to affect the bottom line
Nope.
in the NFL at all. If you fuck with their money, then they pay attention.
They'll come, they'll do. I remember after the Ray Rice stuff, they had those commercials with everyone talking. Remember, but it's just, it's unbelievable. And
Because they don't actually care. That's the thing. It's
to
like
say that bluntly, I also think, this will probably end the Chiefs. I don't. This type of incident, I don't think you can overcome as a team, especially he's such a good player. They struggle a little bit with Oakland. As a Patriot fan, there was it's all relative, but somebody sent me like a meme, and it's like who tipped off the league, and it's just Belichick sipping the orange juice. That kind of made me chuckle. But disgusting behavior clearly all the way around. The other big story, more related, Mike McCarthy fired. That was also a stunning result. I was very close to end up betting on the Packers, and I talked to myself mentally.
We said it to ourselves, remember?
Yeah, and
4-6-1 team is minus 14.
yeah,
How?
exactly.
How?
And how is the answer? I haven't been following that closely. Is Rodgers getting any blame, or just all McCarthy?
It seems like
Rodgers
they
doesn't get
just
any blame.
aren't giving him any blame, and
Mike
needs
McCarthy has gotten all the blame for
Yes.
everything, so it doesn't surprise me at all that he's taking it on this as well.
Now, obviously, if you're sitting there, you're like, okay, one's got to go. It's Mike McCarthy.
of course.
No doubt. Like, that's a no-brainer. But Rodgers has been terrible. His body language has been terrible. He has not played like he's been missing big throws, missing small throws. And so,
Dude,
he's just checked out.
He, like, for all of the Packers apologists, everyone always blames Mike McCarthy, right? Now, like Aaron Rodgers better fucking win. If they get like
Yeah.
a new head coach who's good,
Yeah.
he better win the goddamn Super Bowl. He
you-
better never lose again. The way
Packers
fans
losing
talk.
in the snow to a hapless Arizona
Arizona.
Cardinals.
Did you see Rodgers pull the Pirate Simon, shaved his beard? A little guilty.
Yeah, that's very guilty.
Little
Also,
guilty.
shout out PMT, who actually broke the news on the firing.
Shout out Slug.
Yeah,
who
Slug,
slid
I
into
guess.
PFT's
Yeah.
DMs. Schefter was very mad.
Yeah.
Very,
Big
very
J
mad.
journalism
Yeah,
is what he said,
was
right?
very, very mad.
This is brought to you by SeatGeek. Use the code RUNDOWN, $10 off your first ticket order. So use the code RUNDOWN. It's the official ticket provider for Barstool. Again, $10 off your first ticket order. Use the code RUNDOWN. College playoffs are in. I don't think there's any major surprises. And once the games unfolded, that's how I thought it would go, even though ESPN said 71%. At one point, they thought Ohio. I don't know what that stat was.
Ohio State had no.
It's what it should be.
But the Ohio State fans also complaining about being 6 instead of 5.
Who cares?
Right. Not only who cares,
Who's,
but like,
who's Georgia?
If
Five?
you ain't four,
yeah, Georgia's
doesn't
5.
matter.
Like, we won our conference championship. We're not 5.
Who
cares?
cares? You're going to the
Who
Rose
cares?
Bowl. It actually makes
Who cares?
zero difference.
I actually like that it's an old school Big Ten, Pac-10, or Pac-12 matchup in the Rose Bowl. Like, those
Yeah.
uniforms would be good.
Yep. No, that'll be a colorful game as long as no one gets assaulted. I lost so much money gambling. I did quit, but it was only after Saturday. Like, we were in Nantucket for Stroll, Gaz and I, and he's, all festive.
What is that, by the way?
So they do a big weekend where, like, all the bars open up. Christmas. Like, it's just a huge drink. It's like an older version of Figali, like older people, but a
That
very
sounds
fun
great,
week,
actually.
very fun, very busy weekend. I'm just sitting in the corner watching like the Georgia game, like already down, just pouting. Then here was my college picks for the weekend. I had Buffalo money line.
That was cursed by Rico.
I had Texas money line.
That was just
in the
a
over.
brutal.
And I had
brutal ending.
Georgia money line in the over. So I went there, but the Georgia was like plus 370.
Yeah.
So
That fake punt was crazy.
the everything, like those games, I tried to explain to Casey on our college show. If they were playing against next weekend, I'd bet all the same way.
Texas almost did it. They dropped
I was
the
looking, it
ball.
was like 27-27.
It was-
I'm like, all right, I could go 3-0 here. Worst case, 2-1. And then the safety, I didn't even know. I'm on my phone.
The
Like, what
minute
is the
Dave,
score?
the minute the safety happened, I was like, "Yep, done." Because I had Texas as well. So you have no problem though with the Final Four, right? Because I know there was a lot of people.
Well-
fucking Herb Street was doing. Herb Street was going so over the top for Georgia. It was making me furious.
Listen. You can't, I don't know what they say it is. It can't be like best team eyeball. It's resume. It has
Well,
to be
and you
resume.
know what-
I would have put Arkansas in that year
Yeah,
if you're
I know you
going
would've.
eyeball.
Yeah, I know. And the SEC is so good at their messaging. They had it down to I actually thought for a second Georgia was going to make it because right after the game, Kirby Smart was like, ask them which team they wouldn't want to play. Bet it's us. And then Saban gets up and is like, I'll tell you what team I don't want to play, Georgia. And they get the whole fucking thing spinning. It's like Georgia had their chance.
But what-
They blew a fucking lead to the backup quarterback. They should have won that game. They were a better team for 3.5 quarters, and they fucked it up. Why would I want to see that again? I want to see Oklahoma go up against
And
Alabama.
it's not even necessarily. I get it. It has to be your body. You can't even play season if you're just going to be like, well, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. You have 2. The other team has 1.
Right.
It-
And also
and they won the conference.
thing Herbstreit kept on saying was like Georgia played the toughest schedule. They lost their 2 hardest games.
There's plenty. You just can't do sports that way.
Right.
In which someone, even let's just say it's not Georgia. Somebody just gets hot at the end of the season, starts 0-3, and
It's like, oh.
that matters.
Right.
Week 1 matters. The end matters. It all matters. Eventually, hopefully, you do the 6 automatics with the 2 wild cards, and then you can go. I was all over UCF, by the way. I told you that was.
Yeah, that was an emotional win for them.
Yeah.
Champs, baby.
That was crazy.
Undefeated.
Yeah,
Undefeated
that-
again. They got to play LSU.
Back-to-back national
LSU's going to run
champs,
for
let's go.
1,000 yards.
The other, moving forward, the playoffs, I'm sure we'll talk about it. Georgia, which is what I expected because Georgia's a man football team. Clemson's going to be the same way.
Yep.
Clemson is someone who's had a chip on their shoulder for the whole
Clemson can
season.
do everything that
Yes.
Georgia did, but even some of it better.
So Clemson's going to sit there, and they've been listening the whole season how nobody can play with Alabama. Give Alabama the title, and they're going to sit there and be like, "We've played Alabama the last 3 times. We're 2-1 against them. We could be 3-0.
Yep.
We're 1-2. Excuse me. We could be 3-0. And if you don't think we can match up with them, you're crazy."
And Dave, on top of all that, Tua. If you don't think that Tua, like if you're an Alabama fan, you're not a little bit nervous about Tua. Yeah, Tua can put up the yards. Tua can do all this stuff. He's an unbelievable quarterback when he's kicking the shit out of the Sisters of the Poor, the SEC. He in that first half, he was making so many risky throws
Yeah.
and like I'm just gonna wing it and hope it works.
Yeah, like the one that Clemson guy dropped, like right on the
Georgia
sideline.
dropped
Yeah,
so
yeah,
many
excuse
picks.
me,
Like
Georgia.
so many.
That
picks
worries me about the Clemson quarterback, though, too. I think. I think.
But I think Dabo's.
I'd be better with Clemson if they had Kelly Bryant. I'd rather Kelly Bryant for the
Yeah.
playoffs than.
I just think Tua,
the Sunshine
if
Kid.
Tua gets in tough spots, he's going to be like the fuck it, let's wing it guy.
Could be.
And
What's the
that's not
line
gonna
on
work.
Clemson Notre Dame?
Like 14 or 12, 12 I think.
The other issue, which would have been, people forget. Well, they don't forget, but the BCS, this playoff,
11.5.
like
12 and a half,
11.5.
11 and a half.
2013. What do you think would have happened? And this is a wild hypothetical. 2013, no playoff. Who do you think gets left out this year?
Notre Dame.
Oh, I don't think so.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think Notre Dame.
Oh,
allows
people are
it.
already picking them apart.
No, I know, but I don't. I think
Because they're Notre Dame.
I think because they're Notre Dame.
No.
they would. I don't think an
that's still
undefeated
happening right
team
now.
would
No.
ever get left out of that final game.
But what would you have done? It would have been.
It would have been
but,
Alabama and Notre Dame. That's what.
But then Clemson would have been left out
Yeah.
as an undefeated
Yes.
team.
Yes.
Because, I think you say if you have undefeated teams,
I just
one of
think
them's
Notre Dame, the
you're gonna
rating.
get-
No,
I think everybody involved, the money involved with Notre Dame would have somehow
I see
figured
what
it
you're
out.
saying, but I think that people were already picking holes in Notre Dame. I heard people saying that Notre Dame shouldn't even be in the playoff.
But there's a lot of Notre Dame haters.
No, I know.
But Notre Dame
But you
moves the
can
needle.
look at Notre Dame's schedule and be like, look, Notre Dame had one of those, and I hate when people do this with college football when they're like, they didn't play anyone. The schedule happens.
I agree with you.
4 years ago.
I agree.
So you don't
Yeah,
know
no,
that like
I agree with
Stanford's
you.
not going to be
but
good.
the amount of
and-
money that goes with the Notre
No.
Dame rating and everything with it, I just don't think.
God,
they're gonna
no.
let that.
By the way, Dave, Notre Dame is playing for everything in just the Clemson game. Because if they get blown out, they will not get the benefit of the doubt.
They
next
become
time around.
Michigan.
Well, not only that, but Dave, like they go undefeated in 2 years. If they get blown out, if Clemson beats them like 50-7 in 2 years, if they go undefeated, they
Nobody
won't make it.
cares.
Oh, I
because people
disagree.
will. No, I think it starts. This if you
Yeah,
don't
but
think
I don't
bias
care.
They will
keeps
always want
plays-
them in it.
Right.
Like,
But if bias
Notre Dame
starts
fans
playing
don't,
to the committee.
to non-Notre Dame fans, but there's so many Notre Dame fans that will
What
just
time
keep
are the 2 games?
coming back.
Clemson is 4, Alabama's 8.
I do think
So, like, almost impossibly, the Clemson will have the higher ratings.
well, that's a better time slot on
You
a
think?
Saturday.
Oh, it's Saturday night? Is that when they are?
It's Saturday afternoon. I would assume it's
Saturday,
better.
yeah.
Listen, I think you can put them any time slot anywhere. They're going to have the better rating.
No, I actually
think
think
no,
Notre
no,
Dame's-
that's-
I
I
actually
think
don't
that-
agree with you. I think generally, like that
Saturday
8 o'clock
afternoon?
Saturday game on ABC is their prime game. Like that's their number one game.
I know it's tough to tell. I mean, Michigan Ohio State was the number one watched college football game this year.
Yeah,
That was
Start.
new.
Yeah.
but again,
no, I know.
That was bigger than Michigan Notre Dame.
What?
That was bigger than Michigan Notre Dame rating.
Michigan Notre Dame was yes.
Huh.
It was Michigan. It was Michigan Ohio State, LSU Alabama, Michigan Notre Dame.
Interesting.
I think Notre Dame's actually got I think they obviously deserve to be in there, and I think they have a better team than people realize. It's just all on the line.
I think they're gonna get killed.
Really?
Yeah, killed. And now I may be having. I always get
I think they'll
flashbacks
hang.
because I was all in with Manti Te'o against Alabama. And they got hammered.
Shout out Dabo though. By the way, he plays for the spread, because that game was there was 5 minutes left and they were up 25 and the spread was 28, and he was running like naked boots and shit.
Yeah, I had Pittsburgh.
Oh. I'm done.
I didn't want. I was down so much. I didn't want to ruin my night. I put in these 3 bets:
And just walked away?
Northwestern, Pittsburgh in the over 0-3. Check the next day. It's like, of course, and Syracuse and the over in Syracuse Cornell basketball lost by 100 in both those.
Cornell beat Syracuse?
And it was like -13. They won by 6, 8. Quick 0-5 that didn't know happened until the next day.
Fuck.
That's fun.
That's fucked.
You guys watched the fight? Oh wait, no, we did that. Tyson Fury Wilder. I saw all the highlights and everything after. Obviously, the Undertaker gif. I haven't seen it the way I've looked everywhere. Everything's taken down. I know people going nuts on it. I didn't get to enjoy it. I don't think the right way. Like it doesn't look as good post as everyone's made. Like I expected it. I don't know what I expected.
The fight or
The wake up, the Undertaker.
Yeah. I mean, it was in real time. It was something because everybody thought it was done. The way the announcers went, the way there was shimmying. It was like it's a wrap. So I think if you weren't caught up in the moment, I could see that not being the same.
But then
the whole fight was.
Yeah, but then
boxing did
screws it over
boxing.
again.
I mean,
Did you see Teddy Atlas after?
No.
Oh, it was awesome.
Coley said it best. He was like, "Give me Stephen A.
Yeah.
and Teddy Atlas
Oh,
right
Ted-
fucking
oh,
now."
Ted-
How is that not on
He
deck?
doesn't even need Stephen A. He did it by himself. And unless
About the
this was
split
a
decision?
repeat, if you haven't seen it, because I was catching up on everything after, but I think it was, maybe it was. Now I'm thinking of it because I have seen him do that. They give so much to this, but I mean.
Wait, you mean it was a clip from another fight that you were watching?
I missed. I didn't watch the fight live,
Right.
so I went and just tried to watch because it's hard because everything comes
you
down.
can't- yeah.
So I was just all the hashtags just going through trying to watch as much as I can.
was
and now I'm trying to
super
think whether
anticlimactic.
Teddy Atlas, even though it was reposted, it could have been from an old fight.
Tyson Fury is a fucking maniac.
Yeah,
His
he is.
post game was
donating
like,
all his money for that fight.
I didn't know he
too.
used to be 400 pounds.
Yeah.
He was huge. But
Enormous.
his post game was just like I felt like he could have fought a whole other 12 rounds.
Yeah, it was
He was like
actually
having
incredible.
a good time out
Yeah.
there.
And the most viral.
Wait, if you're gonna do the Antoine Walker shimmy, he has to be out.
I actually
can't
went
do that and
to
have
a
a
fight
sit-up.
with
Yeah,
Wilder
that's-
at Barclays. Yeah. Well, I mean, he must have thought he was out.
Yeah. Everybody did.
The most electric, gifable moment,
you watch
though.
I watched it the next morning. I was able to find a stream the next morning.
The most electric moment of the weekend actually came courtesy from our guy, Frank the Tank.
Let me see. This thing keeps trying to rotate on me. Son of a bitch! I just lost power. I get a computer that works on Sunday night. Now this happens.
So Frank,
Wait, by the way, Frank's been on a hot streak. We never talked about birthday buzz cut. Did you see that?
I didn't see
No.
birthday biscuit.
God, birthday buzz cut is arguably better. It was his birthday. He gets out the clippers and he's shaving his head and he's shaving his beard and he's singing the song. He's like, "Birthday buzz cut, birthday buzz cut." It was unreal, and that was just like a week ago. He follows it up with the power going out. He is
the power
on a
going out
heater.
Did you see the remix?
Yes.
A late night.
Like a
So for
light.
those who didn't see it, Frank the Tank has been losing weight, so he's fixing his belt to get the belt buckle now to fit.
He's got like clamps and everything.
Yeah, I don't know what time he was doing this. It was Frankie Midnight, his original nickname. He comes on the scene when you go to sleep. Frank's just waking up in one of his shifts, so he's tightening the belt buckle and he loses power in the middle of it. Creates an electric moment. He goes into shock for a minute and then is just mad about losing. An all-time moment from the Tank.
Wait, let me just play birthday buzz cut for you because
12 a.m. it happened last night.
12 a.m.
Mark Davis. Gets rid of some of this stubble too. Birthday buzz cut! Birthday buzz cut! Birthday buzz cut!
There's no.
Birthday buzz cut! La-dee-dee, la-da-da. La-da-dee, la-da-da.
Where's the hair going?
It's just everywhere. It's so gross. He does his beard. He does it all. He sings the whole time. It is.
The Tank.
He is the Tank.
Yeah, he's a 1 in a million guy. Anything else?
I love him. I love him.
I mean, we obviously had all the festivities, which you weren't here for either.
No, I missed a good one.
I was only
happy
here
to be-
for half of it.
I was
missed
happy to
the
be out on
afternoon.
that. That was a fucking mess.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
I think I got to the bottom of it for the most part. I'll probably talk about it a little bit on radio, but I have a pretty good handle on how I think the whole thing went down. I tried to get Tommy to get to the bottom of it.
I sent you a lengthy summary.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, that was the greatest. That was Gaz's masterpiece. He created that entire feud out of thin air.
Somebody had it right though. Like, why is Dave?
I said
Dave?
that. I said that. When I saw you post that blog at like 4:30 in the afternoon on a Friday while you're in Nantucket, I was like, what the fuck does Dave care about? Oh, yeah. They've been on a fucking plane and an Uber and all this stuff. Gaz just been in Dave's ear being like,
Just
Bill
peppering
and
him.
Dave would never. You lost your. People are saying you lost your fastball.
Yeah.
Can you believe this? These guys are all pussies. And then basically Gaz wrote that blog. Gaz wrote that blog.
Like
He
through
said
your
it in
brain.
your ear,
Like
and you
Dave-
wrote it.
Dave was
Yeah.
just going like
yeah,
this,
right.
but
Gaz
it was
pumping at
Gaz.
you too.
No,
yes, he did.
I will
Yeah,
say
he
at
did.
one point I was writing it and he was just like hovering over my shoulder.
Yeah.
I'm like, Gaz, you gotta fucking
No,
back off or I'm
that's
not gonna
it.
get this thing done.
That's it.
Because he was just like peering over me as I was
Yeah,
writing it.
it's just that's Gaz. He is the puppet master through and through, and he created that entire doing the whole desks and everything. He created all of it. He created all.
Yeah,
of it.
Final Break said it best. Like the desks thing, like was a negative impact on Gaz's life.
Yes.
Like he has people sitting like on top of him now. He was so committed to stirring the pot.
Yeah.
He was willing to let his like daily life
Yeah.
be ruined because of it. That is true commitment.
It's unreal.
Such an asshole.
He really is.
Anything else?
How was
we have-
that was
oh, no, we already
the,
did.
the stroll?
Stroll's good. It's fun. Like I said, again,
What's your
Dan
stroll
can
outfit?
sort of. I went with like.
Is anybody
Leather
there?
coat.
Anybody of note
Yeah, I
at
had
the
a
chicken box?
stuff. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I had some words with the Dark Knight.
Dave almost got beat up by Matt Harvey.
I didn't almost get beat up by
That's what
Matt
I heard.
Harvey.
That's what I heard.
What?
I heard
Matt
it almost,
Harvey kicked
I
your
heard it almost
ass?
came to fisticuffs,
No,
and I
no,
would
no.
have.
What
I
happened?
would be betting on
What?
Matt Harvey.
No,
You've been
no.
sitting on this?
I
Well,
forgot.
I didn't know. I was waiting. I didn't know if you
forgot.
didn't want to talk
That's
about
why
it. for
you
some
asked
reason.
about the straw.
Yeah,
I
I
was
was
like,
like, so
Kevin,
was
why do you
anybody?
care?
Yeah.
Dude,
no,
I got a
it
text
wasn't-
from
it
Gaz late night. He was like,
Yeah.
"Your boy's at the chicken box."
Yeah,
and I,
so I
and
was
I
at
said
the-
I was making fun of him, and then like 20 minutes later, he's like, "Yeah, he almost beat up Dave."
They didn't almost beat up Dave. It was. So we're at the chicken box. I guess Matt Harvey goes to Stroll every year, apparently.
Seems like a Matt Harvey event.
So he was.
Yeah, he's
he,
a Connecticut boy.
he
right?
actually
He's got
had
a
like he was in a
Nantucket
Stroll like he was a festive shirt. I didn't recognize him off the bat, but so yeah, we were at the chicken box. I was talking to like a girl, and I got like pulled. And next
so
thing I
he
know,
almost got beat up, yeah.
I not pulled. It's like we got to figure it out. I go on the porch, the back
Wait. Explain
porch.
this poll to me, like back of your shirt.
No,
And so
it
we
wasn't
gotta
that. It
figure
was a
it
guy.
out?
No, it was a guy. No, this dude
Oh,
I
okay.
know.
Got
He's
it.
like, hey, you gotta go talk to Matt Harvey out here. I'm like, what? So we were out on the porch in the
world.
cold, and the guy was trying to be peacemaker. He's like, Matt Harvey hates you,
Yeah, of course.
and so he's like,
Cincinnati Red
That's
Matt
why
Harvey?
I said to Gaz, I was like, please let this be true, because if Dave gets beat up by Matt
I was
Harvey
never
for
close
blogs
to
that
getting beat
I
up.
wrote, it would
I
be
was-
the
Sounds
best
like
thing
you were
ever.
close.
No. I was never close to getting beaten up. So it was, he's like, you guys said bad things about me, and the guy.
No,
in the middle-
wait, hold on. It's
Well,
on the
you've been a
porch, just
dick, dude.
you and Matt Harvey and the guy?
Yeah,
Just a
just
mano
three
a
of
mano.
us in the back.
So if shit goes bad, you're fucked.
Matt Harvey's not like that big of a dude.
I mean, he would.
He's
kick your
gonna beat
ass.
the shit out of
Yeah.
you, Dave.
I always felt very confident in this situation. I know when I'm nervous, like I
Dave,
may
you were,
get beat up.
you were like,
you
were unsure if you were gonna beat up
Matt Harvey
Mike
was
Rappaport.
Matt Harvey was not
He'd
close.
point him to death. He'd point him to death.
Yeah, I'd point him to that. Matt Harvey was never close to we weren't like, he was just, it was like, hey, you guys say a lot of bad stuff. And but I'd be like, I've never said a word about it. I don't give a fuck about the Mets. It's like this guy, Kevin, who I equally don't like, is like, you and I are on like the same side
you guys
here.
should be boys.
Right, it's like, I don't like him.
So how did it end?
And the guy in the middle is like, well, you got to understand, because the guy in the middle likes me, and he's like, this is his thing. He does media. You throw a baseball. It's like you guys are each doing your own thing. And then we went back inside, and I started busting Matt Harvey's balls, being like, hey, I was talking to that girl. You kind of fucked that up, Matt Harvey. And he took that like dead serious. He's like, what? And I'm like, I'm just kidding, dude. He's like, and then he was very apologetic. He's like, did I really ruin that? I'm sorry.
See, if there's one thing Matt Harvey can like level with you on, it's like trying to get pussy.
And it wasn't. It was just like he thought it was nothing.
Guy sucks.
But yeah, the Dark
So if
Knight.
Kevin was there, would he have punched Kevin?
I would hope so.
He didn't seem like a puncher to me.
Headbutter?
No,
I mean,
definitely
he
not a
was more.
headbutter.
I thought it's weird
He'd
because
have someone else punch him.
you can ask. Yes, like I thought it was all jokey at the beginning. Then we were on the porch. I'm like, no, he's really like upset about what's been written
He's
about
actually
him.
been. I've thought about that before. Like, if there was one guy that I've run into that I've like talked shit about, he was like at the top of my list.
I
Like,
also
that would be
think
a
he
real
was,
problem. I think anybody else would be like, all right, I don't like you, but I get it.
I think we
Matt
had
Harvey
a
would throw fit.
combo of he was a fan, and then you trashed him because he's bought shit from our store. But I was saying, when I went back in, I was saying that line all night. It's like, where you been? It's like, oh, I almost fought the Dark Knight. Like, what? What are you talking about? I was like, yeah, no, I was in a fight with the Dark Knight. What'd you do
world,
last
man.
night? I was jaw to jaw with the Dark Knight.
Matt Harvey.
What a
Yeah,
world.
I forgot about that.
Matt Harvey.
Yeah. Yeah, so he was.
He was a fan, but he like never like he wouldn't have known it.
Oh no, he knows it. I mean, I don't know what you said about him, but he
What
does
have
not
you
like
said
it.
about him?
Yeah, I mean, listen, he was like, it's the same thing that everybody said about him. I mean, he's
Didn't
been
like
he's
it.
been
I
a
don't-
controversial New York.
And I
figure.
kept saying it's like it's like trust me, I haven't written. I don't care about the Mets. Like I've never written. It's gonna be you. And he's like, yeah.
definitely,
So
definitely.
yeah, I forgot about that.
Well, now that I know he's reading, though, it's like, I'm gonna start
Probably
blogging
see
again.
this.
You should start blogging shit under Dave's name.
It's also
there we
very
go.
difficult to get like nervous, and he wasn't, but he was in like a Christmas shirt, and it's like tough to get.
And he's
like,
a red now.
like fired up.
Yeah,
so,
like have fun
yeah.
in Cincinnati.
And he's friends. He was friends. He knew all the people like at like the box who like we know. So it was, But it was we settled our differences, which I have none with him, out on the back porch.
Wouldn't that have
Yeah.
been great if Dave got
If
like
you got
clocked
if you got sucker punched because of Kevin.
blogs? Yeah.
I'd love to get sucker punched by the Dark Knight. That would be like great.
Yeah, that'd be good
Great
for
story.
business.
It would be a great story.
But it was. I literally was like, I haven't written anything about it yet, so whatever. Yeah, that happened. That was Friday night, Saturday night. Forget one or the other.
The Saturday.